All right, join me on page 331 in the Go Math textbook. Follow along. This is lesson 8.7, equations with fractions. Let's get to it. On canoe trips, people sometimes carry their canoes between bodies of water. Maps for canoeing use a unit of length called a rod to show distances. Victoria and Mick carry their canoe 40 rods. That's a distance. That's how far they carry it. The equation 40 equals 2/11 d gives the distance d in yards they carried the canoe. How many yards did they carry the canoe? That's our question. How many yards did they carry it? We know how many rods. They want to know how many yards. Okay, so what do I need to find? I need to find how many yards they carried the canoe. And that is Mick and Victoria. How many yards did Mick and Victoria carry the canoe? What information do I need to use? I need to use the equation (40 equals 2/11 times d). How will I use the information? I can solve a simpler problem by changing the equation to an equation involving only whole numbers. Then I can solve the simpler equation. Okay. So it's saying, hey, fractions are difficult to deal with. Let's not deal with fractions. Say, what, Mr. Music? We can get rid of a fraction? Yes, we can. How do we do it? Pay close attention and I'll show you. So write the equation. Here we have the equation. Multiply both sides by the denominator. Okay, so I multiply the denominator on the fraction we have is 11. So I multiply 2/11 times 11 and I multiply 40 times 11. Now what that does is it gets rid of the fraction part and changes this just to the numerator. So it's now 2 times d, but I also have to change the other side. So I have to do 40 times 11. 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 4 is 4. Done with that one, 0. 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 4 is 4. Add it all up, I get 440. So now I have 440 equals 2d. My fractions are gone. Now it's much simpler for me to solve. This is multiplication, so I need to divide both sides to get rid of that 2, because our ultimate goal, remember, our ultimate goal is always to get a variable on one side and a number on the other. So we got to get this variable by itself. So 2d is multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division. So I divide both sides by 2. That gets rid of the 2 on this side, leaving me with just d. And then on this side, I now need to do that math. 2 into 440. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. Subtract gives me 0. Bring down. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. Subtract 0, bring down. 2 goes into 0 0 times. 0 times 2 is 0. Subtract, no remainder. So d equals 220. So Victoria and Mick carried their canoe 220 yards. So you see, to get rid of the fraction, all we had to do was multiply both sides by that denominator. And that cancels that fraction part out, leaving you with just 2d. And then 11 times 40 was 440. And then now you have a much easier problem to solve. All right, again, if you have any questions, pause the video now, raise your hand, ask the questions now. okay, because we're going to continue, and this is what we're doing today. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.